Hello and welcome back to the Matchbook Horse Racing Watchalong in aid of racing welfare with £1,000 guarantee. Micheál, Deasy, Steve Jones still with me. We're going to get straight back into it at 3 o'clock at Newmarket. Deasy, talk us through it, the betting as we currently have it.
Yeah, so Royal Ascot winner Candleford is top of the market at 4.4. And you have Contact 8.0, Trawlerman 8.4, Summer's Night for Mark Prescott is 11.5, Midnight Legacy 15.5, Soapy Stephen 16.5, Boy Welcome 16.5, Spirit Mixer 20.0, and its big prices then for the rest. Jonesy, who'd you like?
Yeah, I like Spirit Mixer. And I'm surprised that this horse is 20.0 because last time out in the Northumberland Plate got within half a length of Trushan, albeit getting a huge amount of weight. But that's still a very, very solid run. And before that, hadn't got the run of the race at Chester. And before that, it won 3 on the bounce. So I just can't understand this. Why it's got a real good pedigree, Spirit Mixer. Frankel out of Arabian Queen, who won the Juddmonte International with David Ellsworth. So top class pedigree, got really good form. That interested me, that last race in Newcastle, the Northumberland Plate. Everyone going mad about Trushan, what a great weight carrying performance it was and all this. And I must say I didn't back Trushan because I thought he was too short, but you're much better off carrying bigger weights against lesser horses than the other way round, lighter weight against better horses. It's just proven. And it's all to do with, obviously, the handicap system where a pound equals a length. Well, that's nonsense. It's nowhere near that. And Trushan, the other thing they said about Trushan, Holly Doyle would have a lot of dead weight. Well, Holly Doyle had ridden in the previous 12 months, had ridden it something 9 times in open handicaps above 10 stone. And I think she'd won 3 or 4 of them, and she was making like a massive profit, so something like 120%. And so it was just nonsense, and people just go along parroting the same thing.
I saw Haley Turner before was saying that it's actually not a huge advantage to them to have loads of weight in the saddle. It actually makes their job much harder if they are used to riding at 8 stone. And they're riding at 10, there's 2 stone. It unbalances the saddle, so it's not actually in their favour to be having a load of dead weight like this. We got a $5 on there on Spirit Mixer, and the money's coming from there now, Jones. Do you want a little place bet them as well?
Yeah, let's have a place bet. Maybe what are we looking?
We're going to 6 places here now. So do you want to go 5 or 4? Or?
Oh, God, it's coming right in. 4, I would say. 3.95, 3.9. Yeah, get it. Let's get a bit of that.
Yeah,
4 places.
We'll have a tenner on. Where is he there? Spirit Mixer. We'll have a tenner there to place.
Yeah, definitely.
Yeah. Just for me, this is I don't have strong opinions in this race. One I like was Dubai Welcome. It's been running fairly well on the all weather, but that will have helped his handicap mark. And Sideburn Soror's horses are obviously in rude help after Modge kept that race the last time. So I'm going to have a little small bet in here as well, win for 5 on there. And I'm going to go 5 places for 250, and I'm going to go 4 places for 250 as well.
Yeah, I backed Candleford at Ascot, and I don't say that to blow my own trumpet, but I thought that day. I mean, it was very impressive, and I don't think he's got any problem going a little bit further. Although he's a Kingman, so there might be a bit of an issue there. But he's got £13. I think that's a right chunk for a horse who didn't look hugely progressive before. Maybe he's just improved. But that thing with Kingman's only, I mean, obviously a really good sire, but Kingman's only had above 1.5 miles. Kingman's only had 4 winners from 40 odd. So he's less than 10% above 1.5 miles, considering that his overall is about 17%. So yeah, I think there's got to be a slight stamina doubt in pedigree with Candleford.
Just to try there as well, I'm after back and Trawlerman to win as well. because
You're,
John.
you're just fishing for a few quid, aren't you, on Trawler Man?
Yeah, I still think he has
you
to
didn't get that. It was such a bad gag. You didn't even get it.
I got it.
Sorry.
The man sells fish.
I mean,
It
probably
reminds you
still
of the Love Island gags.
Stop. Come on.
Oh, look, Luca, and for those Love Island listeners, they're well aware. Your man makes a fishing joke every day, Steve. So it would be right up your street.
Oh, Love Island. I'll be all over it, I'm sure. I'm gutted that I've missed it. Really gutted.
Sorry, Dees. Carry on. Trawler Man.
Love Island. Yeah, I just think like he was obviously he was well fancied last time and just ran absolute shite. But before that, he ran very well on debut, and I don't think he was expected to be fully fit. There was a bit of a drift on him, so I'm happy enough to take to get him at there 7.0 here. I think that's a nice price. I know it's going back and win only. But you can see there now, Jonesy, you're after getting a nice bit of value here now on Spirit Mixer. You got the bet on at. Let me just check it here now. These are the settled bets.
Yeah, he's collapsing in price, isn't he?
Yeah, you are on Spirit Mixer at 20.0. We got a 5 right now. Do you fancy that a bit? No, sure. We're happy enough for that, I'd say, yeah. So we have 3 running for us in the win market. Dubai Welcome for 4 and 5 places, and Spirit Mixer for 4 places. So, are you happy enough for this, or do you want another little?
No, I'm happy with that. Again, if you can get out a little bit, can't you? If we've got 20 and say Spirit Mixer went down to 10, we could get out of it. But we haven't had really enough on to do that. I always think you've got to try and do that before the race. And although I did think Spirit Mixer was a bonkers price, it's a competitive race, and they can't all be short, can they?
No, we're just feel like we've missed out there now on the last race where Jonesy would have had a winning bet on Modge and the place lay for Mainland and Sea. So we left a bit of money behind there, but we
won't mention the other race. But yeah, don't let the
mention that.
Big enough, Steve Jones. Steve Jones.
Uber Cool is an interesting horse, although Jen Chapel-Hyams seemed to have gone off the boil, but
she's a bloody good trainer, Jane Chapel-Hyams.
Yeah, she had a Royal Ascot by the balls anyway. Was it 2 winners and a second?
Yeah, she's just very, very, very good in my opinion, and I don't know how desperate she is to train loads and loads of horses. But the horses that she's got, she does exceptionally well with. She'd be towards the top of the list of trainers that I'd want training my horses if I ever won that Euro lottery tonight or whatever it is.
Will you ever buy a racehorse, Steve? You mentioned you were involved with a greyhound earlier on.
Yeah, it's more my level, to be honest. But a friend of mine, Chris Coley, who's Fergal O'Brien's business partner, an old cricket pal, because it's our cricket club, the Gloucestershire Gypsies, it's our 100th anniversary this year. He got a horse and got a few people involved called 100 Not Out. And she ran in bumpers in the Gloucestershire Gypsies colours, which are gold and maroon. And it was all very exciting. And she ran terrible every time. And she hung one time. And I said to him, I think that horse, there has to be something up with her. And they had her scanned, and she'd cracked a bone or something. So that's not ended particularly well. So hopefully she can get back. But it's not for the likes of me to be chucking cash out, I don't think. I'm far too mean for that.
So do you summarise our bets there from listeners just coming in as they head off? They're in the stalls here.
We have Spirit Mixer and Dubai Welcome backed win place. Trawler Man win only. So if Dubai Welcome, we've backed for 4 or 5 places, and Spirit Mixer backed for 4 places. So
take it away, Steve.
Well, there's interesting. They've all come towards the far rail again, and those that were drawn high are stuck right out. There's one there. I don't know who that is. It is way out to the right, away from the rest of the field, and that can't be a help. But up front, you've got that looks like Uber Cool somewhere near there. No, maybe not. Mandoob's making the running. You've got Zoffy, who won at Newcastle last time, but he's been knocking around the jumps for ages and with Hugo Palmer now. And the horse that was very wide, I think that's Tribal Art, is now coming to join them, of Mark and Charlie Johnson's. That was a horse that missed the break very badly in the Northumberland Plate. We are midfield, sort of upside each other, Trawler Man and Spirit Mixer. The other Godolphin horse, the grey there, Dubai Welcome, in about 5th position. So I think they're going quite quick here for a mile and 6. I'd be surprised if they can keep this up.
Well, you can see the fractions, the furlong fractions.
Yeah, God, 12 seconds for over a mile and 6. They're going pretty quick, aren't they? I don't think we're in a bad position, Trawler Man and Spirit Mixer here. And they maybe just starting to slow a little bit, but they've used up plenty of energy up front. Mandub, who was one of the outsiders, what's that going well in behind? Soapy Stevens, another of Mark Johnson's, going nicely, but yeah, we're not badly positioned here as they sort of come for just over the half mile out. So I'd imagine they'll start working themselves out in a minute.
I love these. I love the furlong breakdowns.
Yeah, it's brilliant, isn't it? Especially, I mean, they're going under 12 seconds now, so they're really kicking on, and that's quite a long way out. That's half a mile out now. It's 3 furlongs to race, and now they're starting to. We're still going well, but we want a little bit of room here. Spirit Mixer and Trawler Man. Trawler Man's towards the inside. It's getting quite rough there. Oh, and one of them there is not done any favours. Spirit Mixer now needs to a bit of room. Is staying on. Trawler Man hasn't had any room to play with at all, and it seems like Sam Cook's Dubai's still in there. Spirit Mixer's running on, and one of the Johnson horses there is Soapy Stevens is attacking, and Soapy Stevens might have just got there from Red Flyer, who was 100 to 1. So it's a rough old race there. I didn't think we got the clearest run through with Spirit Mixer or Trawler Man. We certainly haven't hit I think we got 5th, didn't we, with Spirit Mixer, which is a little bit galling.
Backed off 4.
Zoffy was involved there, wasn't beaten very far. But I think Soapy Stevens has just got his head in front. Another Mark Johnson winner. He said earlier, Dees, how his horses were starting to really fly.
No, Zoffy, yeah. So, where I'd say that.
I have to say the slow-mos are amazing, aren't they?
Yeah. Can you imagine back in the way? You probably don't remember, sadly, Dan. It's when you had a video back in the day and you paused it, all you got is this kind of lines all across the screen like that.
Yeah, the 3 lines, isn't it? Yeah.
Jeez, that's it. Yeah, Soapy Stevens, I have to say, looks like he has it.
Is there any in-play odds?
Someone from the Raggy, Red Flyer. Jesus, that was Zoffy. I don't think I even got down as far as Red Flyer in the card. What is he here now? Yeah, Haley Turner, who we were talking about, right now, 8 stone too.
Yeah.
She's interviewed on ITV there as well.
16. Is that Sam Cook on the outside finishing 4th?
Yeah, it looks like it, doesn't it?
Nice white with blue sleeves.
What did Sam Cook sing? I was trying to think of the gag there. The Wonderful World.
Oh, it's a long time coming. A change gonna come. God. Long time coming, but I know.
Wonderful World. Yeah, Wonderful World. Well, it was nearly a wonderful world for Sam Cook.
We've in Spiral next race, 1.13 currently. I know it's a bit of time. Yeah, 1.13. That wasn't 1.13 earlier. It's been a non-runner or anything. So what's one? Just like nearly what's 1 to 8, isn't it? 1 to 9.
1 to 8. Everything else is.
You can get currently a match. We can get 90 grand on 1.13 if you want.
If you want to buy a bit of money, yeah.
Yeah.
She did look very, very good at Asker.
It's great.
It's not really their style, is it? The Gosdens and Cheveley Park to run her in the Sussex Stakes, which is less than 3 weeks away. But whoa, if she turned up and Baid turned up and Caribus and the Irish filly that won the 1,000 guineas over there, Homecoming. Oh God, my memory's terrible. The horse of Dermot Wells that was really impressive in the 1,000 guineas in Ireland, and Homeless Song. If they all turned up, what a race that would be! Just wonderful. And Inspired, I'm sure, is top class miler. But you can see why they want to pinch these races. But it'd be great if she didn't have a hard race today, won easily, and then they said, "Yeah, we'll go and run in the Sussex," because it just make it fantastic.
We have a nice bit of a break now to the next race on ITV. So, have you any interest in looking at the Ascot race or the York race that's up next, Steve?
Let's have a look. What did I think?
Get the markets up here. I genuinely thought you were going to say, have you any interest in looking at a few Cheltenham anti-posts?
Stop. Well done.
It's never too early. It's never too early.
El Fabiola for the Archers.
Yeah, this novice race at York wouldn't be my kind of race, really. Carl Burt's there's 9 runners. Carl Burt's got 3. Kevin Ryan's got 2.
That is actually after drifting out a nice bit. We can.
Yassat wasn't particularly well drawn at Ascot, so I don't know. What's this Ascot race? I didn't take much notice of Ascot. It's more my sort of thing. A mile handicap round the turn.
So yeah, Steve, when you're so here's a race here you haven't really looked at. So you're picking out the track. Obviously, what other stuff is your step by step before you look at the horses themselves? So you're kind of looking at the track, the distance, etc.
Yeah, I mean, with Ascot, you know the track of the round course. You know the distance. You know the going. It's going to be quick. At the back of my mind, at Ascot would be horses that have done well on the all-weather tend to do well at Ascot. So Chris Stickles explained it to me once that it's kind of based on sand, so they tend to like that. And there's a good few all-weather winners in here, so that would be at the back of my mind. But then I would start thinking where the pace is, if there was much pace, if there was horses that have to be held up. And if there isn't a lot of pace, Cosmic Desert is certainly one that likes to go forward. Royal Rift, I don't think that one was too far away at Newmarket. So there looks to be a decent enough amount of pace. I think they can all slot into where they want. And then I just go through the form, basically. It's already catches the eye that Harry Davis is riding Cosmic Desert for Charlie Appleby. He's 4 from 15 for the stable. So that's quite a good return. He's obviously a £5 claimer that's doing very well. He's got the hood on. Was beaten last time over a mile and 2 when he was keen. They put the hood on and drop him back in distance. The form looks quite good. Did, in fact, finish 3rd to his stablemate New London on debut. So when he had missed the cut behind. So if you go back to April, when he ran in a novice race at the Craven meeting, he's been beaten 3 times since then, including on handicap debut last time. But I didn't think that was a bad race at all. I'd imagine from stall 2, they're trying to settle him quite handy rather than dropping him right out. I don't. Sometimes when horses are keen, there was one at Epsom last night. I was working for Racing TV, and they just settled the horse beautifully in front. And it's almost helps a little bit when you're not actually fighting the horse. As long as you can get an easy lead, you can settle him in front. I don't think Cosmic Desert will necessarily settle in front, but he'd certainly be up there. I think Royal Rift likes to be up there, so there's enough pace in there. I would say I'd probably be leaning towards Cosmic Desert.
Cosmic Desert is currently 4.8, and the money is coming. This is I don't want to kind of. Atrium was actually Sam Turner's nap for the day when he was running in the Britannia. No, we didn't. Obviously, I think he finished midfield that day. But sure, he's had to stick him up in the paper again today. But he seems to have a hard task in his hand here now, giving away a load of weight to people.
Yeah,
today.
I think I backed him at Ascot. I'm sure I did, and it just got too far back and didn't really have the pace for it.
I had a little look through this race last night because I thought we were covering it, but one I came down on was Royal Rift for Brian Meehan. He won very well last time out, and the form has got a little bit of a boost. Now he's up £7, but this is only his second run in handicap company. And Brian Meehan's horses, while he hasn't had a whole pile of winners, a few of them have run fairly well recently. Now he has been fairly well backed since last night. You can see he's even gone to 6.8 there now. So I would like to have a little small win bet on him, just in case.
He's one trainer that's dropped off a bit. I mean, 10 years ago or more than that, he had a lot of good horses, and he just doesn't seem to have the numbers he once had, Brian Meehan. But every time a young up-and-coming trainer, like I'm thinking like George Bowie and trainers like that, then someone has to lose out, don't they?
Yeah.
So,
no, I think he's a good trainer. Adele generally gets fantastic information out yard, so I should have texted her to see if this one was a likely one. But I suppose is he making a? Brian Meehan is he's not. He's based in Wiltshire. That's not too far up. But I was making
he's at Manton. He's at the old famous. They've all been there, haven't they? Barry Hills, John Gosden, Michael Dickinson was there, and going. I mean, there's been winners out of Manton for years and years and years and years, going right back.
Do you want to have a little bit off Cosmic Desert here?
Yeah, let's have a bit of that. Yeah. Yeah, we can have it.
2 horses to cheer on, you know. Sky Sports Racing for anyone watching, and this race is kicking off in about 9 minutes. Sky Sports Racing, which is good that they have Ascot. They're trying to add to their portfolio, Sky. And I presume they're going to make a big old pitch for the Irish rights, which are, from memory, finished the end of this year, I think, 19 to 22, or.
I don't want to be giving out too much about racing TV. You know, they do good coverage, but it was an absolute disaster when the Irish racing got moved from that, because I know a lot of old fellas, and they had the free Sky Sports Racing, and they just liked it, watching the racing in the evenings and stuff from Naas and Beddostown, and that was just gone from them then. And they had the choice of going to the bookies to watch it or paying the subscription a month. And it was I can understand why they did it. Obviously, they're obviously getting big money, but it was a sad day for Irish racing when it moved off at the races. And I used to enjoy seeing Matt Chapman running around Clonmel talking to people who thought he was completely insane. There was some good telling.
Yeah, it's my dad would be very similar. He kind of mentioned to me the last couple of Christmases, what's it on? We don't have it, you know. I think I'm not sure the case in England, but in Ireland, people who had Sky either with Virgin Media or Sky Sport or Sky themselves would have at the races at the time. So it's a pity. Now I would say that that racing TV Irish team they have is amazing. Like Gary O'Brien, our own Don McLean's on it. Evan Ryan as well. There's a good Irish team there. Ruby does it too. So it'll be interesting, that rights deal. Now I'm always watching TV rights deals in all sports. I'm kind of into it a lot, so I'm very fascinated how they go about it, because they probably use some of their budget up getting Ascot in, and they've a couple other tracks I think that they've won back from racing TV. So maybe they won't go for the Irish this time around.
Just in other news there, that last race in York, the Platinum Queen, Richard Fahey horses, after absolutely smashing the pieces there, after winning by about 4 lengths very impressive. Watch that back if you can, Naylor. She looks nice. Another horse from Midland Park. There's not a whole pile of movement here. And I want to ask it race yet, lads. Royal Rift is drifting, and Cosmic Desert now is going clear favourite.
End of 2023 is the right deal. There you go. We'll be waiting a while. Although they usually run. They usually get sorted about a few months earlier than that. But yeah, so we've got about 6 minutes left at the off time. Interestingly, so what we got Atrium's 5.2 with Matchbook, and the odds I have in front of me here is 3-1 with the bookmakers. So that's that's like 1.2 difference. If you're backing on the exchange rate. So if you do fancy Atrium, that Deasy gave a good mention to, we haven't backed yourselves.
Sam Turner seems to be very sweet. Napped them, and I think he's put them up in the paper again today. Like, so, Sam is generally not a man to get these wrong a lot of the time. So he's definitely interesting. But he's there's a bit of money there now for Cosmic Desert. He's gone clear favourite. Bling on the music as well. The Walker horse with Safi Osman. I think he's making his handicap debut as well. So he's one to keep an eye on. Interesting enough race.
So Royal Rift is currently 7.8 with Matchbook, and it's 6.5, 11-2 with the bookmakers there as well. So
yeah, he's and the Drift. Too Tempting is another one. He's an interesting jockey booking. They've got Reese Clutterbuck on today. It's the first time he's ridden the horse. He's a nice jockey. He's capable of landing a few touches over the last year.
Yeah, he's a man that gets he's a claimer that gets a lot of rides these days in high profile races. So he's doing really well. I don't know who he's with these days. It might be Gary Moore still, but he's in demand from a lot of trainers, including some of the big yards. So he's certainly a man to follow.
Steve, Royal Rift. So on the Drift there, I think 8.6. Is it are you 8.2 now? Are you a man that would go back in, as certain other people in the Twitter world would? Or are you kind of happy you have your bet and that's it?
Yeah, I wouldn't necessarily be one to go back in unless I was ultra confident. But it was at the same time, it wouldn't worry me too much. I think people highlight the horses that get backed in shorten up a lot, and they highlight the winners and they forget about the losers. I think it was proved a few years ago that on the exchanges, the actual average winner drifts slightly. So it's not something I worry about too much. If it was a particular yard that, some of the yards that are well known for having gambles, if they drifted, I would be a little bit more concerned. But Brian Meehan is certainly not a trainer that I would worry too much about that. And I mentioned he was at Manton. Manton's quite a funny place. It's a very historic yard. And back in the day when obviously there was a lot of what they used to call touts trying to get into the stable lads and get information. And it was a big gambling setup. And so they created their own pub called, I think it's called the Trelawney these days, after a famous horse from the 60s. And it was so that the lads wouldn't go into town. They would have to go down the pub where no public were welcome. And they locked them in. It's like if you go down towards Salisbury Racecourse from Stonehenge, there's a place called Druids Lodge, which is now a polo club. And they used to lock the lads in at night, actually physically lock them into the touts used to come and try and shout up to the windows, and they used to have to shutter the windows. So, and they pulled off huge gambles that would like be multi-million-pound gambles now. But now we've got the internet, so everyone knows everything.
Well, that's it. Everyone knows by 5 o'clock the day before, so the price is gone. Yeah. All it takes is a tenner, really, doesn't it? Like a tenner on the wrong horse at the wrong time.
Yeah,
and that's 16-1 is 4 or 5. So
that's why old Barney Curley was so good, because no one ever seemed to know apart from him. And they say that all the horses at the yard just had numbers. Most of the staff didn't know what they were called, and then every now and then, in the middle of the night, they would all move stables to confuse them even more.
Yeah.
Dedication to the cause.
He's some boy, wasn't he? Yeah.
Emmett Mullins said that in his Racing Post interview there last year, that like he's sometimes he doesn't tell the work rider which horse it's on or how much weight it's carrying. He knows, and that's all that matters. It's all for the owners. Good way to do it, I think.
Yeah. Emmett Mullins. Yeah, I thought I'd spotted one of his going towards Cheltenham, and I had he was my best bet at Cheltenham. It was a horse called Noble Yates, who I didn't back in the Grand National. So that went well, didn't it? I was absolutely convinced I found one. It had nice price, and I backed it at decent prices, and it ran pretty ordinary at Cheltenham.
Because I remember that we were doing that live, and you were making the case, and he had drifted from 16.0 out to 34.0, and you were like,
I'd forgotten about that. I like everything. You connect the dots after when Noble Yates wins. You're like, is that who Steve fancied at Cheltenham? The dots connect too slowly. They need to connect 5 minutes before the off, where you go, Steve fancied him at Cheltenham. I'll have the fiver on. You know what I mean?
I don't forget. I don't forget that easy.
Did you?
I certainly don't forgive that easy.
Did you consider backing Noble Yates at any point in the Grand National? Did you know he was winning?
Yeah, of course. But he was a 7-year-old, which I don't like in the Grand National. I think he was the youngest winner for a long time, and I thought he looked moody at Cheltenham. But there you go, another glorious failure.
We're close to being off here. Atrium's 3.5.
Sam is after getting the money on there now. He's got a clear favourite now at 3.75, and Cosmic Desert has drifted a small bit. Bling on the Music. Was a approaching favouritism there at one stage, and is drifting a bit now again. So
we're off on my telly anyway.
Yeah.
Fly Racing, Sky Sports Racing. We're watching here. Steve, talk us through it once the camera sorts itself out a bit. It's a bit fuzzy here on my screen.
Yeah, there's obviously the favourite that Sam puts out in the light blue colours with the dark blue cap. There's a few in here with similar colours. One of them is our fancy, or my fancy, Cosmic Desert, and the other is King Cabo. And I can't work out which is which. I think Cosmic Desert's on the rail, and Razzle Dazzle has got the lead. The second horse there, Bling on the Music, is in the colours of Andrew Lloyd Webber. That we've seen with a lot of good horses. Too Darn Hot be one of them. Cosmic Desert's just made a place there, slipped up the inside. Quite pleased about that. The favourite is out the back at the moment. I'd say they're going just an average sort of pace, so it should suit most of them. Royal Rift is just coming up to put some pressure on. Cosmic Desert's right in behind. No, the favourite still is at last. Kieran Schumacher not in any panic, and as they turn into the straight now, and they're still going nicely up front. Razzle Dazzle's still going nicely. Cosmic Desert now needs to pick up a little bit more, but Razzle Dazzle's going really well in front, and they're struggling to get them. Here comes Cosmic Desert, and also finishing too tempting. And now the favourite is picking up down the outside, but as he left it too late, he's coming up with Almama as well.
Get up, Royal Rift! Get up, Royal Rift!
Royal Rift.
No, near side.
That's unlucky. Oh God, that's unlucky. Well, it's just been touched off by the look of it. Royal Rift threw down a great challenge there, and it was just heads up, heads down. His head is down. Oh, is he? He's in front there, definitely. But I think he's just been done.
Oh,
he was definitely in front before and after the line.
I didn't think he was that close.
Not very great. If the line was there, oh no.
Yeah, like here, there's no way. He kind of goes backwards. The head goes forward.
It does. His head's going the wrong way on the line. Cosmic Desert didn't quite have the pace to pick up.
No. There was a good
Royal
challenge.
Rift. Although there you go, Royal Rift drifted, and he looks like he's got there on the outside. Unfortunately,
great race.
Almamo, massive price. Holly Dill for Andrew Boulding, 23.0, something like that.
This is my phone is going to go off now with the father-in-law ringing me, telling me he backed Holly Doyle at 21.
It's like everyone.
No.
Holly Doyle. On to the feature race.
Yeah, let's do it. Back to ITV. Virgin Media 1 if you're watching in Ireland. It's great having racing on, isn't it? Midweek terrestrial racing. I like, in fairness to horse racing, like to have the amount of terrestrial telly coverage that ITV do and Virgin Media in Ireland it's a lot. Like it's really good. 1 to 9, Jesus.
Yeah, she's very good, isn't she?
She should
Sorry,
piss up in this. So I think what we're looking at here really is the place 2 market to see who is going to finish second. There's no point in
1.06 isn't a bad price on Spiral top 2, but
when is it back on 1.13? Yeah. 1.06 Inspired finished second. Or Sandrine is 2.92. Sibylla Spain is 3.5. Prosperous Voyage is 3.8, and Primo Batcho is 5.3.
Steve, where are you thinking in this race? I think you put up. Sorry, that was Deasy was no bet, but you kind of like Prosperous Voyage. The guys were tipping that up as well.
Yeah, I think obviously we're presuming that Inspiral's going to win. So if you take her out, it's quite a tight race. Sibylla Spain, the French horse, I think was a non-runner at Royal Ascot, having got worked up in the stalls. And she can make the running, but she was held up when she won the Group 2. It'd be interesting to see how they ride her. She's got a jockey I'm not really familiar with, and I don't like that, even though he's obviously going to be. I mean, I'm not up on French jockeys totally, but coming over here, riding, they tend to be very flat tracks in France, and it's another reason why you might be a bit suspicious about the price of Sibylla Spain. Prosperous Voyage, though, if you rule out, she was drawn very wide behind Inspiral in the Coronation Stakes and stayed out wide and then came across. So was a little bit, you see, they're showing on the telly now the Coronation Stakes, and Inspiral was very good. At this point, Prosperous Voyage is already on the retreat, but I wouldn't judge her on that. Her second, when she was beating the neck in the 1,000 Guineas, was much more like it. I thought it was a really good run. And she was second to Inspiral twice last year, so she's run well at Newmarket before, albeit on the Rowley Mile. This is the July course, but they're quite similar. And Prosperous Voyage seems to like that track, and that 1,000 Guineas form puts her in with a right chance. Sandrine finished in front of her last time, but not far in front, and I just don't think that was Prosperous Voyage's form last time. So I'd say to be placed in the first 2 might be the way to go, because it is quite a tight little market, and Prosperous Voyage is 3.5, something like that.
Yeah. So Tom's, I should have mentioned this at the start, Tom's lay of the day is Inspiral. Probably silly to oppose Inspiral, but a small A interest that. I'm not going to say the price he quoted because it's a lot less now, but he reckons if she's slowly away and they head to the rail, that there might be a stage in the race where it's not going ideal for her. So that's why it was more of a price thing.
You can lay her now with £100 for 15, but I don't think any of us really think that's a.
No.
Yeah, I think if you lay her for £100, I think what ends up happening is you lose 15.
Yeah, I know.
Personally. But it could be a messy race, like he says. That wouldn't suit Primo Bacchio at all. She does need a strong pace, and I don't think she's going to get that. And I think that's one of the reasons why she's the outsider of the entire field.
Sorry, I was just going to, just because you were saying you don't think there's going to be a strong pace, I just want to touch on the French horse, because I thought this was the case in the Eclipse as well last week, because French racing is generally they jog around and then sprint in the home straight. And that kind of turned out to be the case in the Eclipse, which really suited the French horse.
Yeah.
and it's quite likely here that this is going to be the same thing. And Inspiral probably has the pace to kick away from them, but I don't think Sandrine is a miler. I think Primo Baccio is just not having a good season. I do think it's between Prosper. Prosper's Voyage is probably going to make the running. So I think that this could play into the French horse's style of racing. If it's a general French style of racing, I haven't seen enough of this horse now to know that. But that would be kind of the way I would look at it. But again, I don't know enough about its form to be actually putting money on it for that.
Yeah, so, a pal of mine who knows his stuff did fancy her at Royal Ascot, and he said the main reason he fancied her because she's been running on soft ground, and he thought that she would improve on faster ground, and if that's the case, she's going to have a good chance. She has been running over 10 furlongs a little bit as well, which I don't know. And she has made the running in the past, but last time she came from off the pace when she won the Group 2, which perhaps is personal best. Yeah, I know what you're saying. It just worries me the jockey hasn't ridden in Britain much.
I'm with you on Prosperous Voyage and the rest of the lads. I think out of the rest of them, she's definitely the most solid.
Yeah.
There aren't any real negatives in her, so we might as well see if we can get it.
Tom said that as well without Inspiral, so definitely worth it. Insights.matchbook.com still there for anyone looking for those tips from Charlie Post, Sam Turner, and Tom.
Let's see, can we get me one? It'll go big in this now. Try and get the money back.
Yeah, well, we have a limit around 30 to 40 per race.
Yeah, well, look, we might as well just leave it at the even 900. Lose 102 for the day.
Yeah, I forgot about the 2. We worked so hard for that 2 as well, really.
That's right. And Racing Welfare are still going to get a grand, no matter what happens if we lose all the money.
Guaranteed, yeah, guaranteed. 1.08 Inspiral in the 2-place market, and I think currently she is in the win place. The win place in the win market. She
are we about to get matched now? Was the next?
Yeah.
Oh, a nose it was between Royal Rift and Al Mama.
Yeah.
And Al Mama was the outsider of the entire field.
Inspiral 1 to 8 now in the bookmakers.
Amazing price. But she is very, very good.
But she was 1.3, I think, when we recorded the midweek pod on Wednesday. So, serious move in the market as well.
It amazes me that people bet at those sort of prices, even though she does look head and shoulders above the rest, because you have to back so many winners, and you only need one thing to go wrong. And if you get beat, you have to back so many winners then.
Slight drift on her. Yeah.
It's like people that lay horses at 1,000 to 1 and things like that in running. It always amazes me that you have to have 999 winners
to just break it, to make it work.
To break even. And I know that most of those get beat, but God, it wouldn't be for me. What way to make a living?
5-runner race here. So the pace is something to watch, Steve. You agree with Tom there?
Oh, absolutely. That's the way the races are run are the key to every race, in my opinion. Yeah. And although I dare say she could overcome anything in Spiral, she has got a red hood on there, and that denotes that that it will be taken off before she races. And I think they're just taking it off now. Yeah. So that comes up. That was to keep her calm down at going to the start in the parade ring and at the start. And immediately she just gets on her toes a little bit, but she has been kept quite calm. And hopefully she'll relax in the race, because what we don't want is her to pull her race away or something like that. We need. Everyone likes to see a good horse, don't they?
Yeah, it's a superstar, and we always cry out for them in racing. So I think it's important.
And hopefully Prosperous Voyage will just cruise round and chase her home in second.
Yeah.
We could take the 900 on her now and make a nice little profit for ourselves for the day.
Yeah, God, that would. If I bet like that, I would be absolutely terrified.
I couldn't do
But,
it. Yeah.
Yeah, we'd probably be sacked on Monday as well if we bet like that.
No questions asked. Yeah. So here we go in Spiral. We're watching this on ITV and Virgin Media One for anyone tuning in. We're off on my telly anyway. Steve, take it away.
Yeah, well, we're where we thought we would be with Prosperous
Yeah.
Voyage in front. The French horse is dropped in a little bit and is a little bit keen. Inspiral's in third. Sandrine is in second, but like Dee said, I don't see her as a real strong stayer at a mile. I think Prosperous Voyage is going quite a decent gallop in front. Inspiral settled nice enough. The two out the back are the keenest. Primo Bacio does like to come from off a really strong pace. Hopefully, Rob Hornby can get a breather into her and then kick again on the leader, Prosperous Voyage, the one we're on. She's shortened into second favourite through the run. Sandrine's just chasing her down. Now he's getting a breather into her now on the leader, Prosperous Voyage. And Inspiral's just cruising under Frankie, but they're all going well enough. It seems a case of between us and Sandrine whether we can get second, and I hope things say. Inspiral's making hard enough work at this.
Ooh.
She really is. She's not put this to bed at all. Maybe Tom Stanley's onto something. It's very close between the three of them: Prosperous Voyage, Sandrine, and Inspiral. Prosperous Voyage is edging across, but is in front.
We can come third here. We can come first here, Steve. We're gonna win it. We're gonna win it, Steve.
Oh no, we've won. We've got our money. We've got our money, but we've beaten Inspiral, and we didn't have a bean on to win. Them's the breaks. Them's the breaks, boys. Tom Stanley. Well, I apologise.
Take a bow, Dee. So I'm going to share what Tom said on Insights there. So if you unshare your screen there, please.
He said, Inspiral will not win. Maximum lay.
Yeah. No, he bitched out of it, of course, as usual. Like, if you have an opinion, Tom, she's
don't worry about Tom Stanley. Don't worry about Tom Stanley.
No,
we're in profit for the day.
We're in profit. And do you know what? You were spot on there, because this is interesting if people bet in running. And Dees highlighted it before, saying Sandrine didn't think was a miler, and she went quite short through the run, a lot shorter than the winner there, our filly, Prosperous Voyage. And if you had that in the back of your mind that you didn't think Sandrine was going to see out the distance, you could have easily backed or laid her in running, because she's gone short there. And
she hit 1.2 at one stage, yeah.
And if you've read the race beforehand and have confidence to stick to your guns, then you could make money. There's so many different ways on Matchbook than there is on a traditional bookmaker. Inspiral just didn't have that zip today. Whether it was I suppose she had a setback earlier in the season that meant she missed the Guineas, and then she was so impressive at Ascot. And what are we're only 3 weeks later. Maybe she's they always say the bounce.
Yeah.
Maybe she's she's definitely underperformed from Ascot because she looks super. So I wouldn't be too harsh on her, but I think that means that my dreams of her running in the Sussex Stakes are sort of over. But that's a really good performance. That's back to Guineas kind of and form from the winner, Prosperous Voyage.
That also leads into the lesson as well, is that let's have something on the win.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah. I remember being on the pod one Christmas and putting up the King George winner that Bryony Frost rides, Froden, and putting it at place only and thinking, what an idiot.
Well,
even though you've got it right, what an idiot.
Tom had without as well, so not without as well, but he went without Inspiral. So I hope he had something on the win, but. Reminds me of a mate of mine. We went to Cheltenham for the 4 days and he just had a mare on the punting, and he only had one winner all week a couple of years ago in the Champion Chase. The year Politolog won the Champion Chase, and his winner was Politolog without Deafy Desoy at about 7-4. So that was his only winner of the week. Politolog, I think, was 91.
That was funny that year, because I was working for Tom George, and when the favourite, which was the Mullins horse, the Mullins.
Which race?
the champion chase that year. The
do
champion.
What year?
When Politolog won. You know, the big rich.
Duvan.
No, the current one.
Shaken Boursois.
Shaken Boursois, thank you. Oh God, my memory is terrible. So that came out on the morning of the race, and Tom had Bundoran in there, and I texted him saying Shaken Boursois is out, and he texted me back saying and Politolog, and apparently there was some issue with because the vet examines every runner, obviously, at the Cheltenham Festival, and they weren't happy with Politolog, and then they said, oh, it's just come off the lorry, he needs to warm up, and then he ran and won. In other words, Van Doren would have got an easy lead, but that's another story for another time. That's Rob Hornby's first British Group 1 winner, so no wonder he was happy and right.
Deasy, we would have been sacked had we put the £900 on Inspiral for sure.
Yeah, we see. There you go.
Well, we wouldn't have been sacked
if we had done that. We need another 9 winners just to break even.
I cannot believe we won there and we end up in profit for the day somehow, and yet we didn't even have anything on the win. That's amazing. 17.0 on the sports books.
And the one race we did read perfectly. The Duchess of Cambridge, when Morge won and My Land and Sea was last, and we were going to lay My Land and Sea for a place. We weren't on, so I think we've done all right today.
£17.74 profit today. £19.74 extra for Racing Welfare.
Don't spend it all at once.
Don't spend.
But obviously, Racing Welfare get the grand as well. So
yeah,
we're chipping away. We're chipping away.
Well, it was brilliant performance there, lads, in the last race, I have to say. Because regardless of Inspiral, who definitely underperformed, obviously, we did have the best of the rest there, I think. So
absolutely, and considering it was the race I was looking forward to the least from a betting perspective, it's funny how things work. And there's so much great racing tomorrow.
Yeah. Have you any fancies? Well, it's just to finish on that. It was a 3. We could have finished third or first there in the final quarter of a furlong. But there are plenty more. We did record the racing pod earlier with Natalie Green and Declan Ricks. That's there now in your feeds. I'll have it up in Insights in the next hour or so. But for those watching, exclusive watch-along tip from both Steve and Micheál for tomorrow, because the lads are informed. Steve, you've obviously had a small look at the cards, I'm sure, on Saturday.
Yeah, big look for my for Value Rater, who I do a big race preview for every week. I looked at the July Cup, obviously, this week, who I fancy Naval Crown to back up that Platinum Jubilee win. I don't quite understand why he's sort of been ignored. And the handicaps, which are my kind of forte, especially I do a column called Value Scope in the Daily Mirror that Sam Turner thinks is quite amusing, that I've got all these columns that are value something. And I think, well, my main bet is Il Bandito in the Bunbury Cup. I really like him. And he's trained by James Horton, who had the Phantom horse run well earlier in the afternoon.
Price you're looking for, Steve, or price at the moment?
I think Il Bandito is about 13.0, something around there. I hadn't actually looked recently. It was when I looked earlier.
Deasy, have you had a look at Saturday's card at all?
I haven't.
That's good honesty.
I haven't. I'm not gonna put something up just for the crack. I'm even just skimming through them here now. Nothing is jumping out of me yet. So
Il Bandito's 18.5. I think that's a really good price there. I think you're getting a good value there. He's a very good trainer, James Horton. He's in his first season. He's done really well.
That's in the 350 Newmarket, is it? 18.5.
Yeah, that's it.
Here we go. So look, Jonesy, just for you.
Yeah. Always have something on the win.
Yeah. And we're still in profit for the day.
Here we go.
Baffertino, Tom fancies, I know. Oh, they're all jumping at me here.
Who does Tom fancy?
Baffertino.
Yeah, what won the Victoria Cup. He's another good young trainer, Kevin Philippart de Foy.
Actually,
There's so many of these guys that young guys doing well. It's great to see.
It's I'll read out the best bets there to spoil your podcast listening. Faffertino is Tom's best bet. Natalie Lasudud in the 240 at Newmarket, and then Rixie is Eileen Dove at 145 York, who apparently isn't pronounced Eileen Dove, but pronounced Elon Duve.
Yeah, it's Scotch Gaelic. That's what it.
Yeah, is that it? Okay, yeah.
What's it mean?
Black Island.
Is that serious?
Good
knowledge.
Rixie thought it pronounced translated as Black Eileen. That's what he said.
Black Eileen. No, it'd be Ilan Dove as Gaelic.
Ilan Duve then.
Yeah.
Interesting. There you go. Steve, thanks very much.
Brilliant. Good fun as always.
Yeah, we'd stay on for the evening only. I've got to put up insights, so and then I log off for the weekend. So I think that's wise. Deasy,
nice one, Dan.
Enjoyed that.
Enjoyed it. Yeah, great day.
Right. In about 10 seconds, insights.matchbook.com. All your horse and racing tips are there. The pod is out there as well. The new episode of Matchbook Meets with Terry Darnell is there as well. We will be back next week. Until then, take care, and we'll see you next time on the Matchbook Watchalong. Bye bye.